Hello friends, good morning. Welcome back for the next video on Selenium IDE. Last time what we did was to install a Selenium IDE on the Firefox browser. Today we'll continue and understand how do we use the Selenium IDE. So let's get started. Last time when we did, we installed the Selenium IDE and you should see an icon at the right hand top corner. Go and click on that icon and you would see a pop-up coming up with the different details over here. So go ahead and so once you get this pop-up, right, you will be able to save the complete the project which you are going to record. So we'll save the project as test project and click on save. You can put it on the location where you want and create a new test here. So go and click on add new test and say test case 1 and click on add. After you add a test case, we need to add the scenario to the test case. So we'll have the steps onto the test case. So to add the steps, all you need to do is click on this record button, go to the browser, search the web page you want to test, and stop the recording after you perform action onto the browser. So let's do that. I'm going to click on start recording. I'll go to the Firefox browser and say seleniumhq.org and go to documentation and click on test automation for web applications and go back to the Selenium IDE and stop the recording. So all the steps what we performed, all the actions what we performed has been captured over here, right? So let's go and execute first without doing any changes and let's see how it works. So I'm going to minimize this and click on run test. So it would go and key in the seleniumhq.org and do a search. Let's see what's happening. Okay. So there is a failure. Okay. Let's try again. I'm going to do a right click and say clear all. So what it does is it's going to clear all the steps what has been recorded. Let me go click on start recording and I'll say seleniumhq.org and again click on documentation, test, and go back to the recording and say stop. So if you see the step open has come that at the end, so I'm going to put it to the top and let's try again clicking on running. Yeah, so this time it worked. So let me minimize this and we'll rerun it again. So it will go and click on the documentation and you see that you are onto the document section of the test automation of web applications, right? So now as the script is recorded, what other things you can do? uh, to save this project or update the project. So let's go ahead and save this first to the test project. And so if you see here, right, so you see the green because it's executed successfully, and you saw the red when it was failed. So okay, so do a right click on any of the section over here, and if you want to perform a debug, if you want to execute it on the debug mode, you can insert a breakpoint, or you can execute from that point, or you can insert a new command over here in this step. We did a clear all. If you want to use the copy option of the same step at this multiple times, you can do that and execute the particular command. So there are multiple options to do. Let's try this breakpoint. Okay, and so when you do a execution on the breakpoint, it would go and stop at this section. If you see, it has come to the web page by hitting seleniumhq.org, but it is not continuing, and it says paused in the debugger, right? So to move further or to the next step, there would be a icon called as step over the current command. So you need to click on the step over, and the test would get continued. If you click on this again, it will continue this the next step, or when you click on this run current test, it would go and complete the test. Okay, so the next step is let's go and understand the object identified, right, the identifiers. So when you click on the particular object, you would see a drop down section at the target, and once you click on that, you would see a different XPath which has been recorded, or the identifier, not exactly the XPath, but the identifiers which has been recorded. So that can be a link text, that can be a CSS, it can be the XPath with the link, XPath with the ID relative, or with the H reference. So whatever the identifier is, it would work. This is the different way you identify based on the uniqueness of the object. You can select that, and you can execute this, or sometimes when you have a difficulty in identifying and export the identifier of that particular object, you can use the Selenium IDE, record the identifier, or if I record the identifier here, copy that XPath and use it onto your customized scripts when you actually develop the complete framework and you are executing it, right? Yeah, so that is about it. Right. One last thing is, if whenever you have given a breakpoint, you can go ahead and disable the breakpoint by clicking on the disable. Sorry, this is to disable the recorded notifications, but you have an option over here to disable the breakpoints. So you go ahead and click on this disable breakpoints. Whatever the breakpoint you would have given, that would get removed over here. So either you can enable, disable with this option. And the other disable is to disable the record notifications. So you would have seen like there was some notification which is coming at the right hand corner over here. That would get you will not see when you click on this disable record notification. So if you do want to see that notification, you can go ahead and click on this icon. That is all about it on Selenium IDE. We'll move further and start creating a small framework using Selenium WebDriver and identify the object using the Selenium IDE. And after that, we'll include the Cucumber framework um, with Selenium and create end-to-end framework as a Maven project. So keep watching, and please uh, leave me your comments, and also like the video. Thank you so much.